New Speed Champion sets are here, you know what that means.
You gonna complain about stickers?
We're gonna complain about stickers. Hello all, I'm Josh, this is Josh Build Stuff, and today we are not actually going to talk that much about LEGO stickers, though we will mention it because these are new Speed Champion sets, and with Speed Champion sets come LEGO stickers. It is just an inevitability at this point. But I am so excited because Speed Champion sets are back. It's been a long time since we got some of these 8-stud wide vehicles, and today we are starting with a couple of Corvettes, more specifically the Chevrolet Corvette C8.R race car and 1968 Chevrolet Corvette. That's the name of the entire set. It's nice and concise. This set contains 512 pieces and only costs $30 in the US, which is actually a pretty good deal considering these cars usually cost like $20 on their own, but this is a 2-pack and LEGO has been known to charge like $50 for these Speed Champions 2-packs, and so in my opinion this may be one of the best Speed Champions deals that we have gotten in a long time. Maybe I'm just excited to have new Speed Champions back. I'm not going to say maybe, I am definitely excited to have new Speed Champion sets back. Today we're talking about Corvettes, and this may sound un-American, but I'm not even that big of a fan of Corvettes. Sure, I like them, sure I appreciate them, but I'm not like a mega Corvette fan. I like other supercars plenty, but Corvettes I'm like, it's like the poor man's supercar, if you may say. Even though the newest Corvettes, every time I see one on the road, I'm like, what is that? Is that a Ferrari? Is that something else? Oh no, it's a Corvette. That's actually surprising. It actually looks really nice. I've said to my wife multiple times, those new Corvettes, they look like supercars. She can attest to that. She will probably comment on this video saying, yeah, he keeps pointing out Corvettes and being like, wow, those look like new supercars. But we'll talk more about these sets in depth. I'll tell you what I like about them and what I don't like about them. It's the stickers that I don't like about them, as well as the minifigures that are included with them right after we build them. The builds for this set, builds plural, they were fantastic. Did I mention that I missed Speed Champion sets? There's just something about them. When you look at them at surface value, you don't appreciate them. When you're building them, there are great LEGO techniques that have to be done here. There are so much snot techniques, that studs not on top techniques that have to be done at such a limited scale because all these cars have to match up and look good when displayed next to each other. You build each of these cars obviously independently. I think you build the race car version first, which is a lot of fun. It's very cool. It's kind of big and bulky, and then you move on to this very sleek, very cool, old school Corvette Stingray in this beautiful maroon color. And that one, it's a little lighter and a little looser in the bodywork, but still the techniques are very cool because all of the lines and the subtle shapes built into these cars have to be, like I said, very subtle, but they still have to depict the car in which they are meaning to depict, and LEGO does a fantastic job with those. And like I said, the builds for these are just, they're so much fun. There are so many interesting techniques used throughout both of these builds that just, I can't even put it into words, even though I'm trying to do so right now. That's kind of the point of what I do here. In general, I guess I'm rambling at this point. The builds for both of these sets were very nice. I'm beginning to develop a bit of a routine on this channel in case you haven't noticed. I'll go to the LEGO store when new sets are released. I'll buy a whole bunch of new LEGO sets, and then I'll come home and I will look at that big pile of new LEGO sets, which I will usually make a video about independently, which I did, so go check out that video, which probably came out yesterday at the time of releasing this video. But I will look at that big pile of new LEGO sets and I will decide independently which of these sets I want to build first, and that tells me a bit about myself and like which of the sets I'm actually the most excited about. And somehow I wouldn't have guessed it, but the set that I picked to build very first was these Corvettes. And like I said, I'm not even that big of a fan of Corvettes, but I am definitely missing new Speed Champion sets, and this set did not disappoint in that regard. I even complained in one of the recent Josh Updates Stuff videos where I talk about upcoming sets and my initial impressions of them, and I complained about these 2-packs of Speed Champions cars because a lot of times you'll really want one of the cars in the pack, but you'll have to pay like $50 to get 2 cars, even though one of them you don't even want that much. That was absolutely not the case with this set. For one, it was only $30, and for two, I wanted both of these cars, and I'm very excited that I did get both of them. The juxtaposition between these two cars is fantastic. On one hand, you've got the new, modern, souped-up supercar, race car version of the Corvette. On the other hand, you've got the classic, the origin story, the Corvette Stingray from 1968. LEGO did a fantastic job in setting these two cars apart from each other. I think their color choice was fantastic. The race car obviously has a bunch of decals across the whole thing. It looks gray and sleek and modern and cool, and personally, I'm a big fan of black and gray colors with yellow accents. It's kind of the color scheme of this channel. And then with the classic car, it's muted and like it's subtle. It doesn't have decals all over it. It just has what I would say, speaks for itself. The beautiful curvy lines of an antique Corvette Stingray. And I've said it a couple times, LEGO's ability to accentuate just the right curves and show just the right pieces, and somehow they make the antique Corvette Stingray somehow look much lighter and, I don't know, less crazily built out next to the sports car, race car version, which looks very low to the ground and still very bulky, very built out as a race car. And so LEGO's just so good at doing that and integrating these tiny details, which all of us probably, we glance right over them, but when you just look at these sets as a whole from a distance, they look beautiful. Can you tell I'm excited? I'm just in a good mood. I'm in a good mood because we've got new Speed Champion sets, and I've already built several of the new sets, and I'm so excited to talk about them with all of you. All of this gushing aside, let's bring this whole mood down by talking about LEGO stickers. I might have said this already, but honestly, I've come to terms with LEGO stickers. I'm not going to take these sets apart and be like, oh man, I wish I had more 2x2 curved, dark, bluish gray pieces in my collection that didn't have stickers on them. No, I don't care that much about it. I don't make mocks very often, and so honestly, I'm not like, oh no, the pieces are wasted in this case, or that LEGO is relying too heavily on stickers. Honestly, the stickers make the car look like a race car. I'm also not a fan of when LEGO prints decals on like big clear stickers, because you can always see the clear sticker on top of the piece, and when you look at it in just the right light, you can see, I don't know, it just looks a little fuzzy. You never can get all the air bubbles out of the stickers. It just takes something away. I understand why LEGO has to do it. It does add detail to a set from afar, but when you look at a set from really close up, as I am wont to do, it just, I don't know, looks a little dirtier on the vehicle itself. The minifigures included with this set are great. We get a dude and a chick, and I always love when LEGO has to make the decision of trying to think about, hey, well, what would a Corvette driver wear? Well, obviously with like a race car, that driver would wear like a race suit and probably hold a wrench for some reason, not like he's doing work on his own vehicle. But I love the thought that, you know, somewhere at LEGO they had a conversation where they're like, well, what is the owner of a 1968 Corvette Stingray? What does that person wear to show that they're a fan of a Corvette Stingray? Well, they're probably wearing a t-shirt with a Corvette logo on it, and they're probably wearing a leather jacket under that, also with a Corvette logo on it, because there's one thing that Corvette lovers love, it's Corvettes. So really all we can do when reviewing these sets is gush about the beautiful aesthetics of them, which we've done a bit already. We can also talk about the new wheels on them, because I think this is the newest round of Speed Champion sets which uses the new LEGO wheels. Usually the wheels, the rubber and the actual wheel plastic part itself, they're two separate pieces. You have to press them together and then you stick a rim on the outside of it. These are a little different. LEGO came out with some wheels where the rubber is able to be actually thinner, but the rubber and the wheel piece itself are one entire piece. You still stick a rim on the outside, but honestly I think the aesthetic looks really nice. It doesn't look too different from what was presented before, but now, like I said, it's all one piece and it's very nice looking in my opinion. So let's get in close to look at some of the details of these sets and talk in a slightly lower octave while doing so. No, this is obviously supposed to be depicting the Stingray version of the Corvette, which is one of my favorites. I'm not the biggest fan of 50s Corvettes. I'm not the biggest fan of 90s Corvettes. I like the modern stuff. I like the 60s stuff. So this set is definitely right up my alley. One of the cool things about the new wheels is that you can fit little round disc pieces in there. And so they've given us some little printed wheels on this instead of like the usual stick-on kind of extra wheel pieces that get stuck on top of those. Same wheel piece, this one just fits a little disc with printed pieces on there, so that's a really cool new detail. Overall though, this car, like I said earlier, it just looks lighter and simpler than the race car counterpart in the background there, and I think that's not as easy to do as it might seem. I love that we've got the classic double round Corvette tail lights on there. That's something that I associate with Corvettes, and I don't even know that much about them. You can, I guess, make this car a convertible if you really wanted to. It looks nice enough like that. I like that there's some detail around like the rounded headrests of the seat pieces in all of these new cars. They stick like a couple little pin pieces in the middle of the interior, I guess, to simulate handbrakes and shifting knobs and whatnot. It's nice that they can try to put some of that detail in even at this slightly smaller scale. So here's that juxtaposition I was talking about. While that other car looked kind of light and airy, this one looks big and bulky, because obviously it is a race car, not even supposed to be like a top of the line Corvette. It's a race car version of a Corvette. Like I said, a C8 C8.R, which I've never heard of, but I assume that LEGO got some sort of sponsorship with Corvette and Chevy in general, which is pretty fun and pretty nice for them. I love that this is a rear engine car and you can see like a little bit of the engine through that back window. I'm assuming that's a rear engine car. I haven't actually looked anything up about this car. Like I said earlier, a lot of stickers used here for decals. These little front 1x2 tile pieces are printed, but like your headlights end up being stickers and those look a little weird. And then the windshield is obviously, that's all stickered, or that's all decaled printed pieces, but then these are stickered pieces, and so you see like a slight coloration difference between that. I'm trying not to complain too much about stickers. It is necessary. Without them, this car would look a little too plain, and so I don't mind them that much. Around the back, big old exhaust, a whole bunch more stickers, a big old adjustable spoiler back there. I like that. I just love the overall profile of this car. I don't know that it screams Corvette to me. Like if they didn't say that this was a Corvette, I could have been convinced it was a, I don't know, a Ferrari, a Jaguar, whatever other supercar, but the thing is just littered with Corvette details, so I'm going to go ahead and believe LEGO when they say that this is in fact a Corvette race car. So overall, I think these new Speed Champion sets are fantastic, and these Corvettes specifically are also fantastic. $30 for 2 new cars, I think that's a pretty great deal as far as a lot of Speed Champion sets go. I am curious how appealing this set would be to, I don't know, non-American buyers. I don't know if Corvettes have quite the same appeal in European countries, but let me know in the comments down below if you are in a European country and if you care at all about Chevy Corvettes. So that's all I've got. Let me know what you think about these new Speed Champion sets in the comments down below, and let me know if you think that Chevys are the most manly vehicle out there, because I'll tell you that you're wrong. If you're a real man like me, you'll drive a Dodge. Granted, it is a Dodge Grand Caravan minivan, but it's a Dodge nonetheless, and thunder will rumble in the background as you say it. That has nothing to do with the fact that it just won't stop raining here in Texas. As always, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, be sure to like, subscribe, and tell your friends. I'll see you next time.